Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing another super in-depth and super honest review on the new version of the Dior Rosy Glow Blush in the shade Pink. I very recently just did another review on the old version in the coral shade. You can go ahead and check that out on my YouTube channel as well if you wish. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over the major differences between the old version and the new version, as well as doing a try-on test, a side-by-side comparison unboxing, the pros and cons, and overall which one I would recommend. If you're interested in that, then please keep on watching. So just before we get into the actual review, if you are new here, my name is Anita Vivian, aka Annie Vivi, and I adore all things Dior. So if you also love Dior and fun, girly pink things, then I would absolutely love it if you could subscribe to my channel, as I do a ton of super in-depth and brutally honest reviews on Dior products and other girly things. So with all of that being said, let's finally get into the actual review now. So first off, let's start off with price and where to buy this product. So this blush retails for around $55 Canadian right now. It actually used to cost around $48 Canadian, but it recently went up in price just like everything else nowadays. You can get it from any place that sells Dior makeup, so Sephora, the Bay, and the Dior website. I happened to purchase this one on the actual Dior website. So apparently the main difference between the new version and the old version is that, well, the first thing I noticed is that the typeface is now in all caps instead of lowercase letters for the IOR. So that's the only main difference I can see on the packaging. And then in terms of the formula, apparently they took out like talc and all these other harmful ingredients. So that should be interesting to see if it's different in terms of how it applies. And yeah. So now I'm just going to do a side-by-side unboxing for you guys to compare the old packaging versus the new. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and try on this product. Sorry, I look so freaking tired in these clips here. This was directly after work when I got the new package for the pink one, and I just had to quickly do this comparison try-on test directly after work because time was running out for me to return the orange one, so I had to film this super quickly. But yeah, here's the comparison. Now you just saw me compare the two on my face. I'm just going to apply just the Rosy Glow on both my cheeks now. So as you can see, this is how the blush looks on both of my cheeks, freshly applied. So now I'm just gonna get into the pros and cons of this product. So the pros are that, first of all, it is light. I mean that physically and also in terms of how it applies. The actual packaging itself is super lightweight and very thin and very travel friendly. It's not too clunky, there's no unnecessary bells and whistles, it's very sleek, which I love. And also how it applies is incredibly subtle and light. It's definitely not too heavy. It just feels very buildable. It definitely looks very airbrushed and subtle, and it's a little bit hard to go too strong with this stuff because it's so light in how it applies. It's definitely rightfully called Rosy Glow because it very much gives you that rosy cheek flushed kind of look. And in terms of how I would compare the pros and cons to the original, it doesn't really have any noticeable differences. I would say the original felt a little bit more pigmented. It could have just been because of the color, because the old one I had was in the shade Coral versus in the shade Pink that I have in the new one. But I do feel like the old one was ever so slightly more pigmented. I could be wrong, but that was just what I noticed. But again, it is a bit hard to say because that could just be a color issue and not necessarily a formula issue. So now let's go on to the cons of this product. So I mentioned this in the review I did on the old version as well, but for some strange reason, they've done it again and they have not improved this. The mirror inside the compact is incredibly blurry, and I just really don't know what the purpose is for that. Especially for like an over $50 blush, you would think that the compact would be at least a clear mirror and not a blurry one. I really don't know why they haven't fixed that. And another small con I can think of is that the typeface on the new version is all caps. I prefer how it looked before with like the smaller IOR. That's totally a personal thing. It's not necessarily a con, but I just prefer the old Dior logo. It was less aggressive and more cute with the lowercase, but that's just me. And another con I can think of is overall it feels a little bit cheap, the quality of the packaging. Like I feel like if I were to drop this, it would crack and break. And overall, it just doesn't really feel like you're getting too much product, especially because it's so expensive. So that's just another con in my opinion. So overall, I would give this shade a 7.5 out of 10. I find that this pink shade is a little bit more universally flattering than the coral. The coral is very, very orange. So I would recommend it to people that have like a warmer undertone or like an orangey undertone. But if you're even a little bit leaning towards neutral or cool, it would just look like you have orange cheeks. And even I'm like, I would say more of like a neutral to warm undertone. And even for me, who's like a very warm leaning undertone, it just looked super, super vibrant orange on my cheeks. If you're only gonna get one, I would recommend getting the pink over the coral in terms of shade. I also feel like with the new version, the mirror is slightly less blurry. It's still oddly blurry, but it's ever so slightly less. Apparently they also took out a lot of harmful ingredients in the new version, so that's another huge plus. So overall, if I absolutely had to recommend one, it would be the newer version in the shade Pink. Overall, I think there's not much of a noticeable difference between the old and new versions, but if you had to choose one, then I would recommend going with the new one for the reasons that I mentioned in this video. So thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I truly hope it was helpful to you in deciding which version you're gonna get. If it was helpful to you, then please, please, please give it a like or thumbs up. It truly, truly helps me to let me know what you guys are liking. And please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would truly mean the absolute world to me. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!